And by the way, let me say this, another takeaway from the weekend. How cool does Sarah Palin look in a motorcycle? That's a tough look to pull off. But she looked fab in her shades and her motorcycle. I'm starting to get back on board the Palin train. And I'll tell you what, if the stats fall the right way next time, come this time next year, maybe 2 months earlier than this, if the economy's resurrected, Barack Obama has no chance to lose. And I don't, it almost becomes superfluous who we run at that point. I know that's odd, but that's how weird the country is right now, if the economy turns. I still don't dig Obamacare, but I can understand at that point if a guy says, listen, I croaked bin Laden, it's starting to get better. He's probably going to get reelected, almost assuredly so. But if it's in play, and it looks like it's going to be fractious, and it looks like they're going to practice Sherman's March to the Sea on the Democratic side, we could do a lot worse than sending Sarah Palin and Michelle Bachmann out, because those two have cojones the size of Macy balloons. And I'm telling you, you're going to need somebody with rhino skin, fair rhino skin, oddly enough, because these two dames look to me to be our toughest people. Now, you might throw Herman Cain in. I think he's probably faced some a lot more nasty stuff in his life, just being a black guy. You're going to catch stuff like that on the way up. Alan West, I know, has blown a gun off right next to the head of one of those guys and says, you're going to talk or I'm going to kill you. So I know he's got cojones. So I'm almost thinking of taking cats who have actually been in the crucible. We just finished that Kazan book. I'll tell you a little bit about that a little later, but the Arthur Miller play. Somebody who's been galvanized in the crucible, we best send forth into the field of battle, because this is going to be ugly. You can see how ugly the Joe Kleins of the world are going to get, the Eric Ultimates. It is going to be, and I don't know. I hope Timmy the Paw's ready for that. I dig the guy immensely. I hope Romney's ready for that. I hope Romney doesn't spend every day of the last year of that campaign saying, I'm here to speak issues. I forgive my opponents for saying that about me, for hiring the private dicks, for having Tony Pelicanos the third in my glove compartment. I hope they're ready for that. But I'll tell you what, you go after those two dames, it's like watching a Tarzan movie where the cub, the mom's sitting there supposedly disaffected with the tail swinging, knocking the flies off the cub's nose, and then somebody with a Buana steps into the shot with a gun, and the mother is up and ready to go. I think that's what you have with Palin, and Palin will retorch you. It's like those old movies where somebody's firing a beam at you from a superheroes thing, and they hold up the super mirror and fire the beam right back. She will go. Lock antlers. I dig that about her. She did herself well over the weekend. They make fun of all those guys in those half vests, sleeveless vests, showing their muscles and their tats to her, and they're going to say, look how low rent this is. Yeah? You don't think there's a lot of those people out there in this country that the pied-à-terre set deemed to be low rent? Of course there is. Not everybody's Dorothy Kilgallen, for God's sakes. Good for Palin. I admire her getting right in their face and throwing some of the, these Norman Rockwell shots right back at him. Yeah, I'm taking my motorcycle and I'm going to go shoot an elk. What are you going to do today? Because I'm whine about what I do. All right, that was the soup of the day. This is the Dennis Miller Show.